All right, Andrew. Thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Doing well. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure of mine. I've been following you for a while too. I like what you're doing. I noticed, I didn't have a DJ, and I got to look for the hottest DJ that's close to me. So, so I'm
Oh,
like, oh,
thank you. I
he's pretty
appreciate
good.
that.
Oh, let's talk to him.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how close I am to, I'm in Fall River.
Yeah, it's not, I've talked to a few people from Fall River. We're on the same like schedule timeline, but
Yeah,
but when I get the cold, you guys get the cold too. So,
that's it. Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
all right, man. Let's dive into this. When did you fall in love with the turntables, man?
So I've always loved music in general. I feel like I started getting into DJing probably around like 16, 17 years old. And it wasn't until I was about 18 until I like really started getting into it. Got my first set of tables, just started practicing and got a love for the craft, started doing events and it just kind of took off from there. And it's something that I always wanted to learn and get better at. So yeah.
Was there a point? Was there a point like that you like officially became Andrew the Costa officially became DJ Infinite?
uh so DJ Infinite actually came later on in the DJ career, I guess. I started under another alias of DJ Andrew D. Very basic. Was I started DJing for a friend of mine who had like a little entertainment company, had a few sets of speakers and stuff like that. And he was kind of like, hey, when I can't do a gig, I'll kind of have you do it. So I was like, all right. So, there were some weekends where I was doing a Sweet 16, he was doing another party, or vice versa, whatever. We
Oh,
were kind of just tag teaming events. And, it just kind of took off from there to the point where people are actually calling him and requesting me, which is pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I've always had a love for music, and once I
yeah.
started with him, I always wanted to grow in the entertainment business and the DJ business, and I was kind of like, hey, we should get into uplighting. We should start doing weddings. We should start doing this. We should start doing that. And he was pretty comfortable where he was at doing these small events. It wasn't really
Mhm,
his bread and butter. So
mhm.
he was kind of like, nah, I'm good. Like I want to just do this. So I said, hey man, that's fine. This is your thing. I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. I kind of want to grow and I want to do my own thing. And
Yeah.
he was a little bitter for a little bit, but in the end, he kind of saw my passion for it, and he was like, you know what,
Evident,
you made the right move.
evident.
So and then I kind of took off, and I started Infinite Entertainment Group with another buddy of mine, and once we, after maybe a few years of kind of doing that, he decided he didn't want to do it anymore, and I continued with Infinite Entertainment Group. So much to
Yeah.
the point that when people reached out to me, they were like, "Oh, are you Infinite? Are you Infinite? Are you Infinite?" So I just kind of took on that whole DJ Infinite thing, and that's where
So
that came to be.
the company name came first, eh?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess you could say
Yeah.
that.
Are you on good terms with the guy who like plugged you in?
Oh yeah, definitely. I see him at events now, and he doesn't even DJ anymore. And he was like, "Man,
No.
you took off with this." And I see him from time to time, and he's like, "Damn, like you're killing it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I appreciate it." And I always, even when we were, kind of, I don't want to say bad terms because I don't think it was
Yeah.
bad terms, but it
Oh,
was just
but
like a
yeah,
whole
he was a little
thing.
sour.
You know, um, I was still throwing him gigs, and I was still like, "Hey, make sure you tell him that I recommended you," because obviously like that was a part of how I started. So what kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
friend would I be? What kind of person would I
For
be if
sure.
I didn't like acknowledge the fact like, "Hey, this guy helped me get started, so I can vouch for him," or
Yeah.
he's a great DJ.
So
So that's
and
how it
so
came to be.
yeah, that's how it came in. So yeah, because I was exactly that was one of the first questions I was going to ask you because like, how your first gig started, like how you got plugged in the system, you know?
Yeah, it was actually so it was my wife now, it was her high school graduation party,
Oh
and
yeah.
he was DJing it. So and
Mm.
then he ended up DJing my high school graduation. And then I told him, I was like, "Hey man, I like this stuff. I like music. I kind of, I downloaded the apps on my laptop, and I was like, hey, I can mix this with that and stuff like that." And he was like, all right, all right. So he gave me a shot, and that's how it kind of went.
And you're self-taught then from what you were explaining, right?
Yes, super like self-taught in music in general. Like I said, growing up, I was very fascinated by music since I was a little kid. When I went to high school, I kind of took advantage of all the classes that I could take in terms of music. Took
Yeah.
music theory, music production and engineering, music of the theater, all that stuff.
You actually
And
studied this stuff, eh?
yeah, and I honestly, it was tough for me to actually like read music, but from a young age, I taught myself how to play guitar, taught myself how to play bass, taught myself how to play piano, accordion. From then, I picked up a little bit of drums, so I was always like into music and playing instruments. And
Yeah.
then once I realized that I was mediocre at all those instruments, I was like, you know what? I know music well enough. Like, let me just kind of, plug it in and make my life with other people's music, I guess.
Yeah, I wish I could be mediocre at even just playing the guitar. I've always
Yeah.
never I guess I can't say the passion's been that I I always wanted to learn it, but I never put too much effort into learning it. Like I tried,
Mm.
but I quickly figured out that my fingers were very stubborn.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if this is
Tough.
for me.
You gotta train your fingers,
Yeah.
man.
And then the language too. I put my son in some guitar classes, and then he was bringing papers home, and like that whole it's another language, you know. It's
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, and then like I said, from then, like when I started playing guitar, like, all right, I figured out how to play the chords and this and that. And I was like, all right, well, if a G sounds like this on a guitar, then how does it sound on a bass? How does it sound on a piano? And it's kind of the
yeah,
same idea basically. And it's all like
yeah,
you said,
yeah,
it's the
yeah.
same language. So I just kind of started plugging away, and it was more trial and error
Uh,
until I trained my ear enough on like certain songs, and I was like, all right, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. But then once it clicked, it was all repetition and chord progression and stuff like that. So it just kind of, I don't know, it clicked with me. And I definitely self-taught, but
yeah.
more by ear. I've always had a
Not
good ear
eager.
for music. So
So you've already talked about like balancing a tight schedule. How do you manage like your week schedule with the family and the entertainment life? How do you
it's
juggle
tough,
that?
man. It's very, very hard. So I have a full-time job. I'm a
Yeah,
foreman for a construction company.
yeah,
Like a good Portuguese boy, I had
yeah,
to.
yeah, for sure, man.
It was either college, like, go to the
Yeah,
university or work
yeah,
construction,
yeah, yeah,
because obviously being a full-time DJ wasn't going to cut it. But I do pretty well with that, and I'm very happy doing construction and playing
yeah,
my
yeah.
music. Um, so with
Just a
Go
quick
ahead,
second.
sorry.
At
Yeah,
what
yeah.
age did you get in?
Into construction.
Yeah.
So I got into the laborers union. I was 21. So I'm
Okay, okay.
30, gonna be 33.
Oh, yeah, but you're working on
So
your pension. You're doing good,
Oh,
man.
definitely. Yeah, of course. So that's the whole point of it. So,
Oh yeah,
um, definitely with two little kids and my wife, it's tough to balance that work life family
for sure,
balance,
man.
especially when a majority of my work is during the weekends. So I try to every moment I have, I try to spend with my family that I have available.
For sure.
Sunday mornings before a wedding, or even we'll do breakfast, or even the weekends that I don't have a wedding. I
Yeah,
try,
yeah.
which is very rare. Uh, I try to do something or plan something with my wife, and the biggest thing is scheduling and ahead of time. Like I'm talking way ahead of time. As of now, I'm starting to book into 2028, and it's
Oh
been like
shit.
hectic. Yeah, I'm fully booked for 2026.
I love to hear that.
2027 is about 95% booked in terms of weddings, because that's mostly what I do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, just if I do want to do a trip with my family or anything like that, I kind of got to look at my schedule and say, all right, well, I got this available, I got that available. And it is tough, but that's part of being in the industry.
For sure, man. So the weddings is your bread and butter, basically, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's not all year though. Like how big is that season more or less for the weddings?
Um, So, depending on the part of the country you are, but in New
Yeah.
England, where I'm from, it's mostly, you know, end of April, beginning of May, and
Right.
that'll stretch honestly till like October. Once like Thanksgiving comes around, November, um, it starts to die down a little because people are kind of getting ready for the holidays. I will say, I was actually just talking to my wife a little while ago, and I told her, I said, you know what? I said I was looking at my schedule, and I actually have a few more December weddings than I normally do. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's because it's cheaper and people are, trying to, budget appropriately,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
weddings are expensive, especially in New
For
England.
sure.
and people are trying to get a cheaper price off season. But yeah, I have been booking a few December weddings.
Interesting stuff.
Mm,
How
appreciate
was
it.
building this entertainment company? What was like the first reality check you got from transforming a passion to a business? Like, what was that first reality check you got?
I would say a reality check that I got was probably that not everybody likes my style of music.
Oh yeah,
And I grew up listening to, electronic dance music and,
yeah,
a lot of techno back in the day when I was younger, and I wanted to make every party a rave. Whether you liked it or not, that's what I wanted to play and that's what you're going to listen to. So I
oh
was
yeah,
doing like sweet 16s, 40th birthday parties, 50th birthday parties. And I was like, we're gonna rave, we're gonna go hard. And I'm like, you got Vavo in the background. She's like, okay. So like, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel like that was kind of a reality check. And I said, I kind of got
Reading
to
the room, kind of.
read the room and cater to the crowd. Another reality check that I got was when I first started, I wanted to bring every single piece of equipment that I had, and I
Yeah,
could have something as simple as like a birthday party at someone's house, and I was bringing strobes, I was bringing lights, I was bringing fog machines, like speaker system for like 500 people, like, and it took me hours to set up. And I was like, damn, like this is not worth it for like $400, at the time that I was charging.
yeah, yeah,
So that was a big reality check for me too. Every venue has their own little, piece of equipment that I can bring. All right, this is appropriate for this venue, and I learned to kind of, if you want this lighting, then it's extra. Because that was hard for me too. If you want up lighting, it's extra. If you want this, it's extra. So that way I can kind of create a basis, and that's how
yeah, yeah,
my packages kind of started.
for sure, man. Have you ever done the club scene?
No. So,
Yeah,
I've been asked multiple times. I know a ton of people in the industry. Um, Surprisingly, people when I tell them that, they're like, "What do you mean? Like, you've never played in a club?" And I'm like, "No." Like, I've done Portuguese clubs. I've
yeah,
never
yeah,
done
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the nightclub life. Um, which I don't know. So when I started DJing, I was already dating my wife, and it was kind of like my wife set the ground rules, obviously, and she was like, "Hey, like, I'm not really too happy, too fond of this whole career path that you're taking, but here's some rules. Like, you're not gonna be showing up at my house at 2 o'clock in the morning after DJing a club gig, and so
Yeah, yeah,
it's just not a sustainable life, for
for
somebody that
sure.
wanted to start a family.
Family, yeah.
So and I was at the time I was pretty serious with my wife when we were still like 16, 17, 18, so we always had that mindset of, married, get a house, have kids. So obviously the nightclub scene wasn't really for that.
No. So so then for a wedding gig, how long typically is your act, more or less?
Um, it all depends. Like my dance set for like the reception part of the evening could be anywhere from I've played from like an hour and a half to like 2.5 hours, three
Yeah,
hours. Um, when I do New Year's, sometimes it's like a 3.5 hour set, so that's pretty long.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's straight through.
It's just
I'm
going
just
at
chugging
it.
away at music. But yeah, it's about that in between an hour and a half to like maybe 3 or 4 hours.
When you're at these Portuguese weddings, what percentage of the music would you say is Portuguese versus you'll mix in like American music and so on?
It all depends on the couple, to be honest with you.
Oh,
Most of
yeah,
the time, I'm doing weddings for like second generation, sons and daughters of Portuguese
yeah,
immigrants. So they obviously want their culture to be reflected in their wedding. But I get the whole thing like, hey, we're Portuguese, but we want like maybe 3, 4 Portuguese songs tops. Or they'll say, hey, a lot of my parents' friends are going to be at this wedding, so we want like 50-50. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it depends on the crowd and the guest list, of course, of how much Portuguese music I play.
Oh, yeah. Uh, Out of the Portuguese, like kings of Pimba music, when you pass their songs, who would you say gets the biggest reaction?
Um, Definitely George Freire. A lot of
Yeah,
him. Starlight, Roberto Leal. Um, I throw in José Malhoa every now and then.
yeah,
That
yeah,
definitely is a
José
big hitter.
Maria.
The Pimba hitters, Emmanuel, depending on the
Yeah, yeah,
crowd. Um, I've noticed that a lot of that hardcore like Pimba music, like
yeah,
if I play Emmanuel, for some reason, I don't know why, but maybe like Emmanuel or like Nel Monteiro, like
yeah,
that resonates a lot more with like for some reason with like the mainland people.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
Because
that's
they're
a whole
big.
different thing in itself. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, for sure,
So
for
you kind
sure.
of got to know the regions of Portugal,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
even
That's right.
even
That's right.
playing, for example, like playing a wedding for Luso Americans or Luso Canadians, right?
Yeah.
People that have been here since the 80s, they love George Rhode, they love Starlight.
Yeah, yeah.
So those are the ones that you need to know who you're playing for. So
For
I've
sure,
definitely
because
researched
even
that.
what you're saying is 100% correct. Because even like in my case, I spent 20 years on the mainland, and then when I came here, I wasn't too aware of Jorge Freire, but I know like he's the king of like
Oh, definitely, yeah.
the Portuguese diaspora music here in North
Mhm.
America, you know? So,
Of
it was
course.
something I learned as I got here. What type of reaction does Kim Barreiros get?
Um, Again, like I said, I feel like a lot of people from the continent are like more forgiving,
Yeah,
because his songs are a little bit more piquant,
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so I
His
mean, if I was playing
lyricism
for
has been
like a,
very
yeah,
artistic.
they're artistic, deceiving. So you know what I mean? Like if I'm playing like for like an older, more respectable, like I don't know, like maybe they just because from my experience, like the Azorian side of it, things like if I see like a Vivol there, like I'm not gonna play like Cacheirata de Bacalhau. You know what I mean? So like obviously,
Hey, but
I tread very carefully with that.
the older people back home, they were the ones that had the most fun with that kind of music, though.
Oh, of course, yeah, and to be honest with you, a lot of like my so like my wife's cousins, they live in Lisbon, and when
Oh
they
yeah,
go out, like the college life, like the their nighttime out there, their nightlife is
yeah.
like they love Kimba Rage, and they'll
Oh
close
yeah.
down streets and be like, Põe o
No,
carro,
hey,
tira o carro. They'll be like raving to Kimba Rage,
uh,
and I'm like, wow, like
I
this is crazy.
I gotta tell you, I used to be like a bouncer for about 10 years in Portugal. But like, so in my city, they have a university. So then in the beginning of the school year, they have, how do you call that again?
In the
It's
beginning of the
basically
year,
in the beginning of the school
like a
season, like they have
homecoming.
this, and then they'll have at the end of the year too. It's like this big rave party. It lasts a whole
Mhm.
week.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
I would say it's university people, but every time Kimber Hayes would go, they would go crazy over him. They
Yeah,
love the guy.
definitely. I've noticed that. Yeah, definitely noticed that. It's crazy.
So then when you start playing, what are the first cues you look for in the first 15 minutes to like read the room?
So when I'm looking to read the room, I kind of see during dinner
Yeah.
what I play during dinner is very important because I see the reactions of people, right? So I have this very
Yeah.
specific playlist that I use during dinner, especially for like um millennial weddings that I've been doing. So at this point, they're between 25 to 35.
Uh-huh.
Those that age gap. So I have this playlist that I play during dinner that's 2000s covers, like jazz covers of
Yeah.
R&B songs.
All
So
right.
it'll have like there's covers of like Shaggy, It Wasn't Me,
Yeah.
Me and You by Cassie, Ashanti's in there, some Ja Rule, Mesmerized, but like all instrumentals. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I've noticed that when I play that, the melody is very those melodies are very like catching. Okay. And
Yeah.
people hear that melody of Shaggy and it's a saxophone playing it, right? So like it'll be
Yeah.
like "Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na,
Yeah. Yeah.
ba-na-na-na-na-na," right? So when people hear that, I see them in their seats, they're kind of like they're jamming out having dinner and I'm like, wow, all right, that's gonna hit later. Some like that
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
genre is gonna hit. So definitely when I see that, I definitely during dinner I catch the vibes and I see, all right, these people are gonna like this music. So and like I said, it's trial and error. So I try that. If it doesn't work, kind
Mhm.
of mix into something else. Once I
Now
get
that you're back,
a track like that, like a heavy hitter track that
yeah.
like I know it's a dance floor filler.
Yeah.
Oh man, then it's kind of game on, and I know that I can hit that genre and people are gonna like it.
Now that you're talking about food and you go to all these weddings, what's like the number one dish you see people serve at a Portuguese wedding? Like most
In
repeated, most often.
in New England, they're like famous for their like they call it vendor meal chicken. That's what it is.
Then
It's like a
okay,
chicken breast. Depending on the
yeah,
venue, sometimes it's very dry, sometimes it's good. But yeah,
yeah,
it's like chicken, like a chicken breast with some sort of gravy on it.
yeah,
It's like a couple pieces of asparagus and like mashed potatoes.
yeah.
That's like the vendor meal special right there. For most people. I mean, sometimes I get lucky and like they'll give me like the filet mignon with like the lobster or the salmon,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's good. So I can't complain. As long as they
That,
feed me, I'm happy.
yeah, for sure. That is two good. I like that, right? As long as you get it in.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you also do like cross culture weddings?
I do. Most of them have some part of Portuguese in it, right? So
Yeah,
I've
yeah, like
done
one of the bride or the
Portuguese,
groom.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, yeah. So I've done Portuguese and Ecuadorian weddings. I've done Portuguese and American weddings.
yeah.
When I say American weddings,
No,
I
I
don't know,
get it.
maybe I don't know if in Canada you guys generalize that and say this Canadian,
Yeah.
you're Canadian.
Well,
If you're
I
like
get what you're saying. I get it. Yeah.
if you're like if like say like you I don't know, like you're a girl and you're gonna get married and your family's 100% Portuguese, but you're
Yeah.
marrying somebody who's like Italian, Irish, Polish,
Yeah,
this and
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're American.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah.
we just
Yeah.
generalize it. You're American.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Especially if
I
you've
money
been
come.
here for already 4 or 5 generations. Like,
Yeah, so they're American, right?
yeah.
And some of them have a Portuguese last name, but they're just American, right?
Yeah.
So I've done those, a lot of those, Portuguese and like Puerto Rican, Dominican, like a few of those different weddings. Obviously, predominantly being Portuguese, which is why they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
me because I have this thing where like if you're gonna get if you really want Portuguese to be a huge part of your wedding, even though your partner is not necessarily Portuguese, but 65% or 70% of your wedding guests are Portuguese, then obviously most people would get me. But
Yeah,
if like it's the other way around and like only
yeah.
20% of the people are Portuguese and 80% of the people are from another culture, then I probably won't excel as well. You know,
Yeah, I
I
get it.
definitely like, hey, get me the music, like I can definitely
Yeah,
try to make it a good vibe, but one, I don't know the language.
yeah,
Two, I don't know the culture. So
yeah,
I could be playing something that even if I do my research and I could be playing something that I look up, I don't know, like top 100 Greek songs for weddings. Like I could
yeah, yeah.
probably do that, but I don't know what I'm playing.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
what the
yeah.
language is. So it'll
For
be
sure.
difficult for me. So because I'm
Oh, yeah.
Portuguese, because I know the language, because I know what they're listening to, what songs are gonna hit, those are the weddings where I excel the most at, you know? So
Live gigs, live gigs don't always go smooth though, eh? Like sometimes you get massive curveballs thrown at you.
oh, all the time, man.
Tell us,
Between
yeah,
the different
tell me a
different
story of like a time it happened, but you managed to like make it work. Keep the vibe.
um oh, this is funny, man. So this was earlier on in my DJ career. And this actually wasn't at a wedding. This was at I think a 40th birthday party. And I
Yeah,
was at a Portuguese club. They rented it out. They got the food catered and everything. So at the time, Wi-Fi and DJing were kind of like starting to, a place had to have Wi-Fi so that way you can kind of play your music.
yeah, yeah.
And I didn't have a huge library. Like I said, I was just starting out. And this guy came up to me and said, "Hey," um, it was funny. The guy was Portuguese. He's like, "Hey, can you please play 'Wonderful Tonight' by Eric Clapton?" So I was like, "Oh, yeah, no problem, of course." So I went on YouTube because I didn't have it in my library. I went on YouTube and I found the first video that came up. And I was like, "All right, I'll play it on the next slow song. I got you." I hit play on YouTube and it starts out, people start dancing. I get on the mic beforehand. I was like, all right, we're gonna slow it down. This one's going up by request, right? The song starts playing, people start slow dancing, and it starts out with that instrumental, and it's like ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Eric Clapton was supposed to start singing, and he wasn't singing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I look at the YouTube video, and I actually pulled up the karaoke version of
Oh,
the song. So I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God. And he's supposed to be singing right now. And I'm like, what do I do? So I mean, people are already dancing, people are going. I grabbed the microphone, I was like, it's late in the
you sang?
evening. I sang the whole song, man. And I
Nice.
was like, oh my God. And
Hey, good thing
I
you knew the
got
lyrics.
through it. Well, no, the YouTube
Oh, it
video
was
was
the
up, so the
karaoke.
lyrics were there.
Yeah.
Thank God. And then the funniest thing happened at the end of the song. Everyone clapped, which was crazy. The guy came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you did a good job. Mas you know Eric Clapton." I'm like, "I know, man." I said, "I got through it, man."
Hey, typical Portuguese, never happy.
Hey, you got, I know, but
No,
hey,
you was happy,
it's one of
but
those things you got to make it happen, you know.
yeah,
And I've
man.
noticed over the years, things are going to happen out of your control.
Oh yeah,
It's not the mistakes you make; it's how you make up for it and how you just keep it pushing, right?
for sure.
Um, I've noticed that. over the years, and now that I have a bunch of weddings at this point, probably over 500, 600 weddings under my belt, I've noticed that the more you charge, the less room there is for error. People are paying for high quality. They need to
Yeah.
get that high quality. People like if you charge $300 to do an event
Yeah.
and you mess up, people are
Everybody
like,
is,
oh, I only
you
paid
can't
300
expect too
bucks,
much. Yeah.
But the more money you charge, now the
Yeah.
expectation is way higher. So
Gotta
people are
level up
kind of
the
looking at
game.
you, and you can't, there's less room for error. You need to be on your game, and you need to just be on point. Make sure you cross your T's, dot your I's, and like, hey, make this happen. Because for them, this is the most important day of their life. And if
Oh
they're
yeah.
spending big money on a vendor, you need to make sure that it's perfect for them.
How do you navigate, like, say you have two special people to you that both want to book for the same weekend? how how could
That's
you go with
tough.
that?
That's so hard, man. I mean, once I'm under contract, I'm under
Yeah.
contract. I'm held to that. They sign it, I sign it, and now it's legally
Yeah.
bound. Um, However, I've recently added on two associate DJs that they um they do weddings for me,
Yeah.
and which is kind of difficult, to be honest with you, because for so many years I was just me. Everybody,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just me. And for the most part, obviously, when people reach out to me, they want me, and
Want
it's
you.
hard to kind of sell those
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
I will say I am very, very, very picky on how I do my weddings. My assistant will tell you, man, like he's like, hey, man, you're so nervous sometimes, and you've done this 1,000 times, But I'm like, all right, we got to make sure we got batteries in here, we good to go. Make sure best man speech, like make sure we refresh those batteries, microphones good to go. Like I'm just
Yeah.
so like type A when it comes to that because, like I said, people expect quality, and that's what I want to give. So with these DJs, I vetted them like hardcore. Like, hey, this is the standard. If you want to do weddings under the Infinite name, this is the standard that you need to be held to. And
Yeah.
obviously, like one is was actually my mentor, and he's done way more weddings than I have.
Hmm.
He's about 45-ish, and he's not too big on social media.
Yeah.
So the reason why he joined me is just because now, it's just the nature of the beast. People getting married, they want to see your social media, they want to see your TikTok, they want to see your
Yeah.
Instagram. So that is a
Hmm.
vital part when picking a wedding vendor, I guess now. So that's kind of
Yeah.
the check that you got to check off that box.
So
And if
you
you
don't.
don't have socials, it's difficult,
Oh yeah.
you
So you
know.
don't even need to do these like expos. Sometimes I see there's like these wedding expos, and then people go there to
Yeah.
sell their services. You don't even
Yeah,
need
I've
to do
never
that.
honestly, I've been DJing for 15 years and I've never been to a wedding show, never been to a wedding expo, you know. And there's tons around me. I don't know. I feel like just let people come to me if they want it, And
Oh
I
yeah.
I
Oh,
showcase my best
word of
things
mouth.
on my social media, and what you see is what you get. So,
Yeah. No, the best business is the word of mouth one. Like I have a contracting company here. Basically, what we end up doing is we end up doing custom finishes for like custom homes, and that's
mhm,
it too. I never spent a penny on publicity either. It's just word of mouth. You get
of
to
course.
you establish your name to a level that people reach out to you. You don't need to be
Mhm.
looking for jobs, which is convenient because
Of
they're
course,
bigger
and
jobs.
one of the yeah, definitely. And one of the biggest things is making friends and networking within the industry.
Oh yeah,
So
oh yeah,
like I work with tons of photographers, tons of florists,
oh yeah,
decor people. Um, you know, Wedding planners is big. When you get in with those people, they're gonna recommend you, you
for
recommend them,
sure.
and it's full circle. You help them out, they help you out, they enjoy working with you. Once you do a few weddings with like a certain photographer,
Yeah.
that's it. Like you build that chemistry, and they're like, hey, I know their move, they know my move, and it's great. And it honestly, it makes for a better experience for the couple and their guests. When you have vendors that work really well together.
Are there any future services the Infinite brand would like to add on to its list?
I got a few things in the works right now.
Yeah.
Some new things it's kind of hush hush right now, but definitely this summer, I'm gonna be posting it. I have something that is gonna be let's say I don't want to say too much without giving it away. I can assure you that there is no other entertainment company in New England that is gonna
That's
do what I
cool.
do. But bringing technology is into a wedding is a big part of it. So,
Yeah.
and with tech, with these younger kids getting married, they want to see the technology. They
Oh
want
yeah.
these little gadgets. They want the weddings to be interactive. So
Oh
if you
yeah.
can bring that to them, No, so that's all I'm gonna say on that, but
All right, all
definitely
right.
it'll be coming.
We
Look
already
out
got
for it.
we already got a little sneak peek.
Definitely.
Um, within music, what two different types of genres do you like to mash up?
Um, so when I mix up like folklore music, kind of like
Mm,
those like Titalitos, stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um, because the BPM of those tracks that are between like 90 to 100 beats per minute, um, you can kind of play a little bit of hip hop with it.
Okay.
I have a TikTok that went viral. It was Jorge Freire, Tito Lito, A Minha Maneira, and Lip Gloss by Lil Mama. And
Yeah.
it kind of, I mean, I'm not sure if you're familiar with
And
either
we're
song, but so that went like crazy viral on my TikTok. And like from then on, I think my TikTok like blew up and like I was receiving calls from like California, Toronto, New
crazy.
Jersey, all over Florida, Palm Coast. And like people are, oh, I gotta have you at my wedding. Like that's like that's what I want. Because again, a lot of the weddings I do,
Yeah.
those Portuguese American weddings where they want a little bit of both. So when you
For
mix
sure.
in stuff like that and it's
Oh
so
yeah.
cohesive, they're like, damn, like I want that. You're giving me
Right.
George Freire, but you're giving me hip hop at the same time. Like,
Yeah,
damn,
yeah.
like that, I want that. So
No, that's edgy.
definitely.
Good stuff, man. That being edgy is good, man, and innovative for sure, man.
Thank you.
So who within the within the DJ scene, but like on the international scale, who are your goats?
Uh so Tiesto, David Guetta, Martin
Yeah,
Garrix, Afrojack. Um, Yeah, just those big European Tomorrowland DJs that I've always
yeah,
looked up to, and I'm like, damn, like those guys are amazing. The things that they do, obviously, it's in their blood. So
yeah, yeah.
definitely. And David Guetta was a big reference for me
Hmm.
growing up, just because of how he turned electronic dance music and created it and made it like a mainstream thing. Because back in the day, these artists, like DJs weren't as recognized.
Yeah,
If a DJ was on a track, then it would be like, all right, it would be this artist, this famous artist, and sometimes the DJs wouldn't even be tagged on it. They'd
yeah,
just be like in the credits, right? Um, it wasn't until David Guetta started in like the 2009 era when he was like when he made When Love Takes Over,
no, I
and
think
he
yeah,
started collaborating with
I
like
think he's a goat.
Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, all these artists, and it became like this crossover of like dance music with EDM. And like
Yeah,
then EDM became cool, and all of a sudden like people are like, oh wow, like you listen to techno, and I'm like, yeah, like I've been listening to techno. And like, well, I'm like, where have you been? So they're like, "Oh, did you hear this new guy, Tiesto?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's older than my mom." Like, I know Tiesto. So it wasn't until then like that music, those crossovers, and it was cool to listen to dance music. So,
yeah.
but
Are
definitely
you?
those are big references.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. 100%. Are you familiar with any of like the Portuguese bigger DJs from like back
Uh,
home?
yeah. So definitely Kuda is
Yeah.
number one.
How
I
far do you
wasn't
think he
there.
can take it?
How far? I
Yeah.
mean, I think he's made it, man. I think
No,
so. He's
he's
made
big.
it. He's number one DJ in Portugal. He's
Yeah.
on the DJ Mag Top 100. I think he was
But
like
he's
50 or
not the
60.
Portuguese goat yet though, eh?
I mean, I would say he's pretty up
No,
there, like in terms of
no,
now.
he's
Um,
he's climbing the scale, but to reach DJ vibe, it's still it's still
yeah.
some time. But he's
DJ
this far away.
Overrule is a great DJ. Um,
Yeah.
there's a
There was a
few
guy
that
back in the
like,
day, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, really popular, Pete the Zoot too. He was really big back in
I've
Europe.
never heard of that one, but yeah,
Vibe,
definitely. I mean,
Vibe was definitely the biggest though. Definitely.
yeah, that's
Yeah, man.
awesome. Yeah,
But
definitely.
Buddha's from my hometown, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
He
That's
came
cool.
to the IPMA Awards this year, I think, right?
Yeah, he did. So I was there. I
Yeah.
didn't stay for the after party,
No.
but I saw a lot of great videos, and he killed it.
Yeah.
I actually DJ the IPMA after party last year, and that
That's what
was
I
a
was gonna
blast. That was
say.
so much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. So see,
So that was really
he's
cool.
following your footsteps now, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it's a cool experience. They do it up really cool there every year, bringing big artists. This year was, the biggest
Yeah, this
names
was
that they've
crazy.
they've brought on that stage. Yeah, they had Kalema,
Yeah, huge artist.
Dama.
Yeah.
You know, they brought Richie Campbell, which he's
Richie
awesome.
Campbell. I've been
He
putting
was
people in
he's
Canada
so
on
so
him
good live.
for a while. Yeah, yeah,
Even honestly, Nemanush, like they killed it, you
yeah,
know, and they're kind of on that like Pimba, Kizomba kind of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
vibe where they're just fun on stage and like they just make you want to dance, you know, which is great. So
Are there other DJs within the community that you like to make a collab with or so?
there's a few, you know, on the Portuguese end. A good friend of mine, DJ RDV, he's big in the club scene in Boston.
In Boston,
Um,
eh?
yeah, definitely. Sir Matty V, he's from Boston too, another Portuguese DJ, IPMA winner for
Yeah,
best dance music. So he, you know, a few people that I've met in the industry that probably do some collabs with.
nice. What what is like a dream event you would like to, put to fruition? You would like to happen? A dream event of
Uh,
you.
I mean, Tomorrowland's like the Tomorrowland Ultra Music Festival. That's like the pinnacle. That's like every DJ's dream, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, you go to those events with a USB in hand, just hoping somebody cancels and you get your shot on stage. Obviously, you know, and then you wake up and you got to go to work construction. So, but you know, it's those things that those events that definitely that would be pretty cool. But I've learned as I've gotten older that more than those events, because that was a very part of my like early 20s. Like I've always that was like a dream of mine in my early 20s. I think now just like a big like national or international Portuguese event.
Yeah,
Something like the IPMA, something of that scale, like being able to play on a stage like that, being nationally recognized, and all
especially
over. So just like a big Portuguese event. That's like my big thing now.
nice. No, because you play a big part of Portuguese culture, man. Like preserving it. You're doing all these
Definitely.
weddings. You're preserving our music with the people, the new
Yeah, no,
generations.
that's it's one of my biggest things. I've always,
How does
since I
that
was a
make you
kid,
feel?
man.
You know that you're a part of that, right? You're a part of this the culture.
Yeah, that's it's so cool that we have this network and this community of Portuguese Americans, Portuguese Canadians,
Oh yeah.
that just want to preserve the culture. I've met so many people through this industry that they just love being Portuguese and they love showcasing it. And I've always, since I was a kid, I've always loved being Portuguese.
I
I
know.
don't think I could picture my life being anything else, just because
Yo,
it's such a
people
big part
I
of my
think
life.
people back home are clueless, but when you say like the
Yeah.
diaspora is more Portuguese than the Portuguese back home, they lose their minds, but it's
Yeah,
true.
honestly, it's crazy. So my dad's one of 10, and so I have a lot of first cousins. I think I have like 18 or 19 first cousins. And they're all out in Portugal,
Yeah.
Switzerland. They live out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I tell them, I'm like, "Hey, like, have you heard this?" I was like, "You listen to Portuguese music?" And they're like, "Oh, not really. I listen to more hip hop." And I'm like, "All right, cool. Yeah, like I know Van Z, I know Mizzy Miles, I know Beach, I know like Sam the Kid, like." And they're like, "Oh, how do you know all that?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I love that music, you know?"
Yeah,
And
yeah,
but
yeah.
then when you tell them like, "Oh, like I also listen to like, Pimba music," and they're like, "Oh, Pimba, eu não escuto isso, eu não ouvi
No,
isso." You know what I mean?
it's true.
It's not cool to listen to that out there, you know?
Yeah, the
So
young generation, I would say for the past 25, 30 years at least, you see them at the festas, they'll even have a good time. But otherwise,
Mhm.
they won't admit it. They'll keep it to themselves
No,
or
of
it's like it's
course.
not cool anymore. They just
Yeah,
listen
it's
to
like
the
a
modern
trend.
music, which I
Definitely, yeah.
appreciate the modern music too, but it's part of, who you are.
Definitely.
Bringing back the idea about the business and how you were saying how the social media has been. How big of a part do you think social media has been in bringing you new clients?
Oh, it's huge, man. It's expanded my area of service like
Yeah,
tenfold. It's been insane. Like I'm doing weddings. I have two weddings in New Jersey this year. I have a wedding on Long Island, New York, Connecticut, New Hampshire, like all over New England states. I'm playing a wedding in San Miguel in August.
nice.
I'm playing a wedding in Punta Cana
Very nice.
in January. So like it's like all over, which is
But
insane.
is it
I've had invites to play in California. I've had
nice?
invites to play in Toronto. So like
Good
it's
stuff.
been
You gotta
insane,
come up
and I'm
here.
like, they got DJs there, I feel bad because
Yeah.
I'm like, they got DJs there. Like,
There's a cool kitty. I think he's young. He's like 16 or something. They call him DJ Good Vibes. He's doing his thing. People like
yes,
him.
Yes, yes, he's awesome. I follow him too.
Yeah, yeah,
He's out of the Toronto area. He's really
yeah,
good.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's awesome. And every community needs that.
No, yeah.
Every community needs their Portuguese
No,
DJ. So
I think he's positioning himself to be in that position like you are. You know, I think he's positioning himself pretty good.
that's awesome. Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
it's good to know that people are seeing what I do and kind of like they wanna replicate that, you know, and I think that's really cool. And I'm here. I'm not the type of person that um is in it for, you know, I don't want to take all the cake. You know,
No,
I want
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
to I want to
There's
share
enough
in
for
that. And
everybody.
like
Yeah.
so good vibes, good vibes. Hear me out. Reach out. If there's anything you need, bro, I'm here for you, man.
No,
I'm that
you
type of guy. I don't
simple.
want to
Yeah.
I'd rather collaborate than compete, you know.
Where would you like to see the Infinite Entertainment brand in like 5 years from now?
Um Definitely just being a staple in the wedding game and like the Portuguese wedding game, you know.
But it
I
has to
want
be regional, or can it expand more?
it can. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be able to kind of like
Yeah,
take the
yeah,
reins on all
yeah,
those weddings.
yeah.
But you know, if people, I think it's such an honor if people want to, you know, come work and learn and just be able to do weddings up to the standard that I've
Yeah, yeah,
grown
yeah.
to
For
do.
sure.
Um, it just at the end of the day, nobody's really going to care about your business as much as you. So it's that's the
No.
difficult part. So if you're
No.
just working for the man, you're just kind of, all right, I'm going to do a
Yeah,
service, give me my
that's
money,
right.
and that's it. You know, I'm learning
100%.
this, like this is my baby. This is what I've
Oh, yeah.
loved to do since I was a kid. So like I've always wanted to grow it to this point. And 10 years ago, I'm like, damn, like I would love to be where I'm at right now. And I got here and I could never imagine being here. And now it's like, all right, I'm here. Where do I go? Do I take it to the moon? Like I don't know what where I could bring it more, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like I said, I just want to be a staple and be a reference in both the Portuguese community and in the wedding community
Mhm.
in this area.
Nice. How did you land that Rhode Island FC gig?
That was something a buddy of mine. He's actually he was a radio DJ for a long time here in the Providence area, and the radio station actually closed down. But you know, we always were in communication and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So he actually started doing stadium stuff. So he does Boston College football, Providence College men and women's hockey, Providence College basketball, and Rhode Island FC. So, like I said, when the radio station closed down, he started doing a little, you know, some more weddings, and he ended up
Yeah.
working for a friend of mine who is also a multi-operational DJ company in the area. And he, you know, kind of tagged along with him, started doing weddings with him. So now he's got a pretty busy schedule.
Nice.
He reached out to me and he said, "Hey man, like I think you'd be really cool, like if we could tag team Rhode Island FC together, you know." So we
Yeah.
kind of looked at the schedule, and I was like, "All right, like I'll do this game, I'll do that game," and we kind of made it work for both of us. So he has, if he has a wedding, like I'll do a
Yeah.
game, or vice versa, you know. So
You guys share that
either way,
gig,
there's
eh?
a yeah. So we share it, and every home game, it's either me or him, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
And how does that work? How much before the game do you start your thing?
So the clock starts pregame 96 minutes,
Yeah.
and then the gates open, I believe, an hour and a half. So 90 minutes the gates open, and if the weather is nice, I'm right there in front of the gates. So everybody that walks into that stadium sees me first, which is really cool.
Okay.
um, they you know, I kind of bring the vibes high, high
Yeah.
energy, fun
Yeah.
music, obviously family oriented because there is, you know, a huge age gap of people going.
Mhm.
um, so I try to make it fun for everybody.
Mhm.
There are announcements in between, which is something that honestly, when I was doing weddings, it's like almost like I had to relearn how to DJ this type of event.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got the headset on. I'm communicating with the PA announcer upstairs and the game day producer, and they're like, "All right, you know, PA announcement." He does his announcement. I lower the music, or you know, I take
Yeah.
the vocals out. Um, and there's a few different announcements throughout the whole pregame. I do all the pregame festivities. You know, when the players walk out, there's a certain song just before like the national anthem, things like that. There's certain songs that I have to play at a certain time, just to kind of build the energy just before pregame. Once that first whistle goes, obviously there's no music played um, until halftime. Then at halftime, there's a few like on-field antics that they do. There's like a few games, crossbar challenges that, and I play the coinciding music for all
Yeah.
that. And then after halftime, I'm pretty much done. So that's kind of
Yeah.
how a game day goes for me.
Oh, you don't gotta put music when the game finishes until the people leave?
No, so basically they already have that pre-recorded.
Okay.
If there's like a Rhode Island FC win, there's
Yeah.
already a song that they play up in the booth, that
Yeah.
they do. So
You got any aside from you know, taking care of the kids, the wife, the construction, and the DJing, you have any other hobbies you like or no?
there's a few, I'm an avid sports fan. I love watching all different kinds of sports.
Yeah,
Soccer, obviously, grew up with.
for sure.
I'm a Ports fan,
Yeah,
but so much
that's
champion
okay.
this year, But
You, you can't be good at everything, so it's okay.
I know I always get that. You know what I mean? Like
No,
I
how
married
can
into
I
a
talk
hardcore
shit? You guys are champions this
Benfica
year.
family. I know. But honestly, like I used to be way more diehard when it
Nah, yeah.
came to Portuguese soccer. I, Ever since I started dating my wife's family, hardcore Benfiquistas. Like they love Benfica so much that my sons now are Benfica fans,
Oh,
which I'm fine with. Whatever. So that was my trade off. I'm like, okay, you guys
yeah.
really love
Those are
Benfica, tá
cheat off,
bom. Like
me.
so, like, and my kids like they sing Glorioso, they sing SLB, they sing all
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff. So yeah, they love it. So and obviously, they're super into it. So tá bom. I let them have it.
yeah.
And then they tell me, they're like, Daddy, you're a Port fan. Why are you a Port fan? And I'm like, I don't know. I've always grown up as a Port fan.
No,
So
hey, it's hard. You know what? Okay, the past 10 years, Benfica has been doing big things. But there was
of
a
course,
period
yeah.
for like 25, 30 years. It was hard not to be a Port fan, you know?
Oh, right. I
They're winning
actually told my
everything.
friends today. Yeah, of course. So I grew up in that era. Obviously, we were winning Champions League. We were winning
Oh, yeah.
at the
Oh,
time
yeah.
the UEFA, the UEFA
Yeah,
Cup and
yeah.
all that stuff. So
For
like,
sure.
I was like, all right, cool. It's a good time to be a Ports fan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a blast, man. I enjoyed this. I really wanted to get this chat in because I see your stuff. You're cool. And then, it's good energies. And I was like, yeah, this would be perfect, to bring good vibes.
Appreciate that.
That's what the community needs.
Likewise too, man. I was looking at your page and you've gotten some heavy hitters on your page, man. David,
What? I'm
you got
trying like,
Stevie,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
man. I like that.
I'm a nobody in this, but you know what? I'm like, hey, probably like 10 years ago or something, I would have done it because I was more like, whatever. But then I got busy with work and stuff, and I wanted to do this, but something similar didn't happen. And then I thought it was never going to happen. And then lately, I was
Mm,
like, last year, some point mid last year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this shit. And you know what? It's not going to be perfect to start, but I'm just going to wing it and, just
mhm.
build it from there,
No, and
I'm not,
honestly, even the name of your podcast is
yeah.
so cool,
That one I
just
put
because it
effort
is.
into
Yeah,
that.
no, but honestly, it speaks to your guests and just to
Yeah,
Portuguese people in general, like the grittiness of our culture that,
that's
hey,
right, man.
like,
That's right.
de uma
Yeah.
maneira ou de outra, we got to make it. You know what
We
I
get
mean?
it
And
done.
I think
Right.
that's so, it just encompasses what being Portuguese is. You know what I mean? For the most
Yeah.
part, I mean, I feel like that's just, the go-getter attitude. Like, hey, like I said, de uma maneira ou de outra, we're making it happen. So,
Oh, yeah. I agree, man. I'm never gonna be this polished up guy, but to have these open conversations, easygoing, laid back, share our stories, help promote as many of us as we can, build these bridges. I don't want to do this. I'm not focused like purely within like the North American diaspora. I want to connect with all of us, like everywhere I could find in Britain, South Africa, in
yeah, that's
Australia.
awesome.
I want to
Yeah,
try to like,
you're doing it, man. You had
yeah,
JoJo
yeah,
on, right?
yeah, that's
From
right.
the
That's right.
UK. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
got some
awesome. That's
people.
big.
We're still waiting. Some things are happening. I got a couple more from the UK. I got one from South Africa,
That's
maybe one
awesome,
from
man.
Australia coming. So I'm trying to, build these, bridges. Make this neat, a cool,
That's
comfortable place
awesome,
for us
dude.
to share stories, and
And
also,
that's what it's all about, man.
oh yeah, and even just not just for us, but even for others to see us. Like who we are.
Mhm.
Because at the same time,
Definitely.
sometimes I feel like it's a little ungrateful. Like everybody in the movies everyone always talks about like Chinatown or Little Italy or
Mm,
stuff like that. And then but this was all only possible because of us, like
of
we
course.
set up the exploration. We created the American dream, but no one
Hmm.
talks about this.
Of course. No, and honestly, it's I was following that Portuguese Collective podcast, and I
Yeah.
saw Kitty's episode. I don't know if you're familiar with Kitty Kurishka.
Yeah,
So
I have her. I
she
have
was
her
on,
here.
and she was talking to Sylvia, and she nailed it to a T. that the Portuguese culture is so rich and it needs to be talked about.
That's what
It
I
needs to be not, and it's our job to do that. I feel like it's our job to
that's
kind of just show people like, hey, this is what Portugal's all about.
that's
And
right.
I mean, back in the day, like Amalia, Eusebio, they put Portugal on the map. Obviously, everybody knows Cristiano Ronaldo now, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Sure.
like that's what Portugal is now. Everybody, if you're
Yeah.
not Portuguese and you don't know anything about Portugal, you know
Yeah.
about Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's how you know about Portugal for the
Oh
most
yeah.
part. But I feel like now that the social media is up and people are seeing firsthand like the islands of the Azores, the beaches of
Yeah, yeah.
Algarve,
Yeah.
the
Beautiful,
beauty
aren't
of the Parque Gerês in Braga, like Madeira, like people are seeing all that and they're like, wow, like all the vacation spots, and it's becoming so much more worldwide,
they? Oh yeah.
worldly known, and I think it's
For sure.
amazing, and I feel like we're spoiled, like we have that direct connection, you know.
We all do that a little bit. Like even me, I lived there for 20 years. There were certain spots I would drive by every week, and sometimes I wouldn't
Mm,
take more time to appreciate it, because I'm busy
mm,
with life or whatever. And now that I'm here, I'm like, shit, man, I wanted to
yeah.
be there right now. I would drive 5 hours to go there if I could right now.
So I was born here, but my dad is from Viseu, and
Visit. Oh yeah,
so he's his part of the family's from there, and from where my grandparents' house is, you can see like Serra da Estrela,
yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah,
really cool. And
yeah,
like
yeah.
people like I don't know, that's like a big reference point in Portugal.
Sure, for
And
sure.
you can see it right from my grandparents' backyard, so
Yeah,
which is
man.
is
The
really
little
cool.
things that you take for granted.
Yeah, definitely. And even like so like my mom's side is from San Miguel, and like people see like Setsi Dodge, Lagoa,
Oh yeah, that's
all
beautiful.
that stuff, all those beautiful things, and
Oh
like I grew up going there, and like for me
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like family vacation, and I appreciate the beauty of it. But what's so cool is like other people that go there,
When other people
like
see it, yeah,
east like different like Western European, Eastern
yeah,
European,
yeah.
those people when they go and they're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And I'm like, hey, like my family grew up here.
I'm
Like I feel
telling
like
you
that's
that,
so
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, especially because there was a time, American culture, then people when islands would think Hawaii, this and that. But now they're
Mm.
discovering that our islands like shit, that's just as nice, or
Oh
better.
yeah. And the
But
food's better.
that's
I
it.
mean, I'm biased
You
on
got the
that.
plus with the food.
Yeah.
Even that's another one. We're making the rounds in these like food atlas, food charts and stuff. They're placing
Mhm.
us good there. But even that's another one that it's not common knowledge. Like more people should know about this because I feel like
Mhm.
most of the Portuguese community, like when they'll have open a restaurant in a community, it's for the Portuguese people to go there. So
Mhm.
which is neat. But then other cultures don't really know about it.
Mm. No, I mean, in our area, like in Fall River, we're spoiled when it comes to
Yeah,
authentic Portuguese food. We have Portugalia Marketplace where you can go and buy anything
I've seen it.
Portuguese.
Yeah, yeah,
Like even not even just food, just like wines,
yeah.
bacalhau. You can buy anything, all different types of queijo. You can
We
buy
got
like
one
the clay
similar here in South
pots.
Africa.
Yeah, and like you could buy anything there Portuguese. So
Yeah.
even the non-Portuguese people, they'll go there and they're
Over,
blown
yeah.
away. They feel like they're in Portugal, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but even to in terms of restaurants, there are a lot of like Portuguese restaurants that cater to Portuguese American people. So it's almost like a pub vibe, but
Yeah.
you get like chorizo
Yeah.
and on top of French
Albumin.
fries. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Or like they do like pizza. There's one restaurant that does like a pizza specialty, and they'll do like a Portuguese steak pizza with like
Yeah.
the shaved steak, fried egg on top, French fries, pimenta vermelha. You know what I mean? So it's
Uh,
kind of it'll
well,
give
they
you a
do
little bit of
we got
a
a two one.
it's a fusion.
I had
Yeah,
a
so
guest
it's I think it's
I
really
had a
cool.
guest on back, she's a fitness girl from Montreal. And the Canadian thing is the poutine, right? You know what that is?
Yeah, 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 poutine. Yep.
Well, she was explaining that there's some Portuguese places there that will do it in Quebec, that will do it, but they'll make a Portuguese version with like some chicken, some chorizo in there. And
Yeah,
she said
yeah,
it's
that's
that
awesome.
thing. That's
That's
cool when they
awesome.
do those cross-cultural things.
Mhm.
100%. Mr. Andrew, I really, I really love this. Great vibes, great
Thank you so
energy.
much, man.
I hope
Thank
you
you,
all the
man.
best.
You
Where
as
can
well, man. I appreciate
where so you were saying I came a little bit late to the TikTok thing, so I
it.
didn't have too many social media accounts back then, so I'm still new there. But
Mm.
where is the best place for people to follow you? It's Instagram and TikTok?
Instagram and TikTok, yeah, that's like two of the biggest things
Are you on
that I
YouTube too?
I am on YouTube. I'll post like some of my mashups on there.
Yeah.
Like if I have a reel or a TikTok that does really well, I'll make a full length version of it and I'll
Yeah.
post it on YouTube. People are always asking me like, "Oh, can you release it on Spotify? Can you release it on Apple
Yeah,
Music?"
yeah.
And it's obviously the legalities of things is it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
difficult to do because it's
Yeah.
not my music.
Yeah,
I'm
for
kind of
sure.
just and I need special permissions to do that. But I do get away with doing it on YouTube. You can definitely look for it on there. I'm looking for a way to put it on SoundCloud,
Yeah.
um, and just to be able to have people, if they want to follow me or share it and save those tracks and those remixes on there. So definitely on YouTube if you want to listen to some of the music. If you want to follow like my day to day and like what I
Yeah.
do, weddings and stuff like that. Definitely Instagram at DJ Infinite. My company Instagram is at Infinite ENT Group. So
Yeah,
Infinite
I'll
Entertainment Group.
definitely tag them on the video for sure.
Yeah. And then on TikTok at DJ Infinite.
Are you active on Facebook too or no?
I am active on
Yeah.
Facebook. That's more of like, my personal stuff with like
Yeah.
my family and
Okay,
stuff.
your personal life,
Um,
yeah.
but definitely, yeah, I mean, I don't have a specific Infinite. I have an Infinite Entertainment Group page.
Okay.
Um, but my personal Facebook
Yeah.
is on there.
Yeah,
So
I get it. All right, man. Take care. All
appreciate
the
it.
best.
Thank you so
Um
much.
abraço. E até a
Have a
próxima.
great night. Yeah.
Yeah, you too,
Abraço.
buddy. Ciao, ciao. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and hit that like button below. Obrigado e até a próxima.